In this video, I'm going to be philosophizing on 2 as the first second, meaning that 2 originates meaningfulness concerning the first second, meaningful to think more creatively with the novelty introduced originally with newness and or difference, distinct from one, existing as meaningfully 2 ones with a distinct identity. Meaningful communications allowance more meaningfulness in comparison to 11, 2 ones with 11 ones within the 2 ones, yet meaningfully similar to 2, more in the imitation of 2, not as original as 2, meaning that there are 2 ones, meaningful to 2, as 2 contains 2 ones, without meaning 2 ones, juxtaposed within the same existence, existing together, coinciding within the coexistence of one's being. Meaning that 2 is honestly 2, not 11, and 11 honestly 11, yet holds distinct internal and or external characteristics. One can communicate the more meaningful intrinsic processes and or intrinsic properties original to 2, as all intrinsic processes and or intrinsic properties prerequisite inference into BADAX cause effect dynamical associations to derive from only some facts meaningfulness within each variable as one communicates well-defined distinctions clearly, the meaningfulness within each intra-categorical and or inter-categorical, improving the effectivenesses and or efficiencies of one's meaningful communications, to define clearly each meaning within the communications of the distinct variables BAD, to infer X in relation to 2. Only meaningfully 2 variables to infer the meaningfulness within conduct concerned with X, as to mean the often verbiage we infer in terms of that conduct to communicate as to affecting and or causing directions caused by the causer, meaning that the independent variable B in relation to the dependent variable D, causations X, the effect one is concerned with efferring within the cause-effect dynamical association. BADAX cause-effect dynamical association allowances for one to, as it must be good enough and necessary conditions, engage meaningful communications appropriate to the meaningful communications concerned with the originality of 2, meaning that one exploring unknown unknowns often engages the gaps in meaningful information prior existing unbeknownst to the self, allowances for meaningfulness to develop within the creative thinking one can conduct in connecting distinct prior existing meaningful component parts and processes. One may meaning interpretation, distinct intra-categoricals and or inter-categoricals to derive the meaningful effectivenesses and or efficiencies within one's response to unknown unknowns, improving the originality of one's thinking as one may infer distinct values into the unknown unknowns to connect intrinsic value within the logically sequenced BADAX cause-effect dynamical associations. Within a comparative analysis, one may conduct to meaningfully derive values within the distinctions existing within comparative analysis between BAD variables variations exist within each variable, to infer originality within meaningful similarities as it pertains and or concerns to the distinctions one engages the categoricalizing into intra-categorical and or inter-categorical to infer the effectivenesses and or efficiencies of certain conducts. That's all I want to say for this video. I hope you have an awesome one. Keep developing those acepçãodades.